Well, hello, my beautiful Scorpio. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for mid-August right through to mid-September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I am using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, something that may be of benefit to you. During this time, take this space and breath for you, but it may benefit you to really visualize the sort of success you desire, the finances that you're aspiring to, and how you wish your career or your finances to progress for your future. This is a perfect manifestation time because the Gaia chimes really recalibrate vibrations and attach to a frequency to align you with what you desire. So this may be a perfect time for you to really utilize the time to connect to what you wish to achieve. Okay, so bear that in mind. Let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Scorpio, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome, but I don't know if you noticed with the Gaia chimes, there seemed to be a very consistent note that played all the time. So I definitely see that you are being really disciplined and committed to something, perhaps repetitive on something because you're becoming a pro at it, whatever it is. But also in the water, because I'm scrying at the same time as doing your reading, I was seeing a trumpet. Okay, so either this can mean that you're making some noise in your chosen field, or perhaps you are a musician. Maybe you're trying to align yourself with frequencies, but it could be that you're promoting your work or, marketing something at this time, or there's an important call or something that comes through for you. So please, bear that in mind. That was something that was coming through. I mean, I can only give you what I can see, and I'm just seeing a trumpet at this time. So some of you may be making some adjustments at this time as well. I'm just going to leave that there, though. Let's get straight to your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Scorpio? I definitely felt like you are doing something consistently, but there was a lot of new ideas, sudden, thoughts that are like, oh, I could do this, or I could try this, or maybe you're, thinking about your approach on something. And your first card there to pop out is actually, the crossroads. So it can be that you have multiple streams of income or multiple ideas. Perhaps you're thinking about going in different directions, migrating your skills in some way. We have the Rider, so that tends to mean that there is some news that perhaps you need to take some quick action on there. We've got the Tree, that's all about longevity, it's about wealth. Okay, so I would say, Some of you are taking things in a different direction. You could be staying where you're at right now, whatever it is that you're doing, but it could be there's new approaches, new tools, new technology, or new ways of innovating whatever it is that you do. I mean, the rider indicates movement, improvement. If you've been stuck on something, I definitely see here that there is an energy of moving forward, maybe getting some new ideas or seeing something clearly. Some of you, because we do have the Devil card, okay, this is in the resistance position. It's kind of where you want it to be honest, because if you have been feeling stuck or you feel like you've hit a plateau in your career or a financial glass ceiling, as it were, feel like you're smashing through this. This is about liberating yourself from something that has been holding you back, or maybe it's been toxic. For some of you, I see that Devil energy as, you've been working so hard. I feel like you've been super busy, and whilst you love what you do, it can indicate that you're at capacity, that you've been burning yourself out. And perhaps you've been obsessive about your career, which is wonderful because, of course, that's going to take you to the top. But at the same time, it can be that, you need to allow space for things to kind of ruminate or blossom. It's like you're doing something that perhaps then you can make it a bit more hands-off. Maybe this is an idea you've got where you're going to work really hard on something, but then it kind of like takes care of itself eventually. These could be just ideas, okay? I mean, the Six of Cups, a lot of you want to return to better working conditions because the Devil card can indicate that either there's toxic relationships or there's this toxicity of like always having to be on the go, doing. And it can be that, you're trying to recalibrate or find a healthier way of working. For some of you, you may even be returning to an industry that perhaps you enjoyed, or it can be that you're staying in the same kind of sector, but you're just kind of moving into a field that feels like you're branching out in it. Okay, we got a Nine of Wands. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you are working really hard, super busy. I feel like you like being busy. I feel like you are someone who needs to be involved in lots of projects. But also the Nine of Wands, you've accomplished so much. And a lot of you are like, okay, been there, done that, what next? So I feel like you're trying to build on whatever it is that you are doing at this moment in time. We've got the Ace of Swords. Yeah, new ideas coming through here. I also get this energy of you kind of like tearing up the rules or regulations and like the script. I mean, you're not doing anything that's naughty in your career, but I feel like you're seeing that there's a certain way that things are done and you're like, okay, but that kind of keeps people stuck. Or I feel like you're being a little bit more maverick. You're trying to kind of do something original or different. So you could be like doing a career that not everybody does, or something that is, a little bit wild and wacky in whatever it is that you're about to do. We have the Ace of Wands, new projects, and we've got the King of Pentacles. Show me the money. I would say, this is about building wealth. Perhaps you're looking at alternative wealth structures, or migrating your skills or your business somewhere where, you get better returns. I mean, personally, this could also be that you're looking at institutions, financial institutions, of how you grow wealth, or perhaps you feel that interest rates are really low when it comes to you getting like good returns on your finances. You're just looking for the alternative right now is what I'm seeing there. So this can be applied to your personal finances, but also to your projects, to your career. And if you're someone who's come to this reading right now and you're currently out of work, searching for an opportunity, I mean, your first card there is a crossroads. So it can be that you're looking at your options. Where is it you like to be? What is it you love to do? With that Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, I would say that you're about to sign a contract or a deal, okay, with a place that you will grow in terms of your skill set, really make a difference, but also financially, there is more money. You are attracting more wealth at this time. And, if you're currently searching for a role where you look at a company that you feel like you aspire to partner up with them, I would say you'll sign a contract on this, and there's a very high-ranking position coming through. But I feel like you're not going to rush into anything. I feel this is a card where you're just looking your options and thinking, what direction do I want my career to go in? I feel like you're not just settling, even though the job market is a little bit oversaturated right now. There's a lot of people searching. You may feel those shortages or difficulties, and you may have been disappointed in your search. But actually, I feel when we are rejected from something or, protected from something, it is a redirection towards something greater. So I feel like you're aligning with a very healthy environment where you are going to be a boss or you're bossing up in some way and you're going to earn a lot more money. So I feel like you are taking things to the next level in your career. So Ace of Wands is always like a new project or a new environment or some sort of transformation going on in your career sector. So if you're currently searching for a role or an opportunity, I would say you'll be signing contracts there. It's a fair deal and you get to increase, okay? Now, if some of you are, currently working in an environment and you kind of like what you do, but you may feel some things have changed, or there's a person in particular who's very toxic in the working environment, someone who's very cold, someone who's very kind of like, I feel like personally they're going through something. I would say that this person, I feel like they leave or they're let go. Okay, so if you work for a company, I see someone who has made the environment a very difficult place to work. I see this person leaving very shortly, and it opens the gateway to more opportunity. You may actually benefit from this. So if you are currently in an environment where, things have been challenging, I definitely see here there's new projects or new opportunities starting to open up as you move into September. And this could be where you get a promotion, because King of Pentacles can be promotion vibes there. Ace of Wands, you may be asked to figurehead like a new department or new project or new client, for example, or perhaps you've had a new idea that you give to your boss or to high-ranking people in positions of authority, VIPs, for example. It can be that they really take your ideas on board and are like, wow, that's great. That is something that we're looking for, innovation. And they see that you're someone to come to for the ideas. You're an ideas person, but also you're an action person. So I definitely see you like moving up. I mean, don't get me wrong, Nine of Wands means it's really hard to do what you do. You are at capacity, you are exhausted, but also I feel like this is about you stating your claim that you are someone who is a force to be reckoned with. You have a lot of experience, you're very established, you're very knowledgeable, very talented, and I see that you are going to be elevated in whatever it is that you do. And I mean, this is you being rooted in something where you can grow wealth, but also grow in experience and grow in stature, as it were. Your reputation grows. So I'm definitely seeing some promising things happening here for you. If you're someone who works for yourself, you have your own business or you're an entrepreneur, you're a creative, I see that you've been under a lot of pressure with that devil energy and the Nine of Wands. I feel it's been hard. Perhaps there's been a bit of a lull in the industry that you work in or you specialize in, but I do see things picking up pace. A lot of you are having new ideas. And also, there's new things coming on in here for you that I feel would be very exciting for you to explore right now. Some of these things are ideas, maybe one idea that you've shelved or had bubbling up for some time. Random, I'm seeing a chef hat in the water. I don't know if that's what you call it, a chef. Yeah, it's a hat. It's like a white chef hat. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, this is symbolic, of course. I mean, for some of you, it could be that you work in catering. I'm not sure if a chef is the highest rank you can be. Yes, chef, I guess it would be, yeah. But it could also be that you got something bubbling up there, something cooking in your plans, as it were. So symbolically, it could be that you have had an idea that you've put to the sidelines for a while because you've been super busy elsewhere. Because I feel this energy for a lot of Scorpios right now, that whatever you're doing it consistently. And also there's some other things bubbling up over here that could see you have many different fingers in many different pies. And I feel you're going to return to these things and you're going to love doing them over the next coming weeks and months. There's a refreshing energy of like, oh, I've been meaning to get around to that project or that idea, and suddenly you're submerged. And maybe that devil card, because the devil card is not an evil card, it can mean that you're passionate about what you do. So it may mean that you're getting obsessive about a project, and it means that you're like taking it to the top in some way. So I would say that you are focused, locked on, and you're not going to stop until it's done. And it's going to be very successful and very rewarding for you, okay? So let's get to your cards, because that's so much energy that's hit me straight away. Some of you may even be launching your own business. You know, it could be that you're becoming your own boss. You're responsible for your career. You're someone who's successful and knowledgeable already, and you're naturally gifted, but also you have acquired skills and knowledge. I feel a lot of you could be thinking about courses of learning, or you're learning something that is typical in whatever industry you're in, and you're like, okay, it's always been like that, so I've got the foundation of knowledge, but now I'm like ripping up what I know in order to explore and find my way to do something maverick, bold, and different, so that you really stand out in your industry. So I'm just getting lots of things going on here. It's almost like there's more than one way for you to be successful, and I feel like you're going to explore all those avenues, because even though these are signposts, as you can see, there's nothing written on those signposts. So I just feel like you are like freewheeling a little bit, exploring and kind of like adapting to your environment. And I feel there's this energy here of you kind of like evaluating whatever it is that you want to accomplish. But I really love this word here. It says deviation. So I feel like there is this off-roading kind of energy for you. You're still being successful. You're still going to, make your mark and be very grounded in your industry. But I feel like you're exploring outside the parameters. So what I mean by this, because I feel I'm getting a lot of things going on, if you're someone who's super successful in an industry that you do already, you may be seeing like a niche in the market that's not covered, or you may be like looking at areas where people have been wanting a service or a goods that you feel like you could provide. Or it could be that you're so knowledgeable about what you do, you could be sharing it in different ways. So for example, because this signpost is like, okay, well, I could go this way, I could go that way, I could do this. So if you're someone who is really knowledgeable on architecture, for example, I'm just highlighting that because architecture is like you're building something. But if you are, for example, an architect, please apply it to your personal industry, because of course it's going to be different for everybody. But say, for example, you're an architect and you're doing your architect thing, right? You've got plans, you're drawing things up, you have clients, you're looking at budgets, you're creating. But also, this is something you're doing day to day. It could be that on the sideline, you're writing a book about how you got into the industry, the pitfalls to avoid, the links that you could follow, the education that really benefited you, the ins and outs of the industry. You could write a book on that, or you could create a course on it and, inform other people because you're a pro at what you do. And it could be that you are exploring different avenues of what you do, because I'm getting this energy of like spin-off. So for example, if you are like a performer and you're in a really famous show, right? Think of any famous show, and all the performers in that show, they come together and they create something really wonderful that everybody wants to watch. But then there's one character that really shines and gets a spin-off series. I'm just getting that energy of you like having something that spins off in a different direction. This could be something that you migrate your skills at. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it could kind of like complement what you're doing already. So that's something already I'm getting here. So if this is something you're exploring right now, I feel it's going to be super, super successful, okay? And yes, you're going to be busy, and yes, you're going to take a lot on, and yes, you're going to feel at capacity, but it's going to be so rewarding there. Now it says here options, decisions, choices, hesitation, multiples, impasse, evaluation, and deviation. So what I'm getting here is you may have hesitated on a project or an idea, or you may have even thought that it wouldn't go very far. I feel this could be a key to success, because I'm seeing a key right now as I actually explore this energy for you. So I feel the key is you are empowered, and the key also is exploration. Things could go in different directions, so I feel like you're remaining flexible because you have that Two of Cups. Most importantly, you need to love what you do. I feel with that Two of Cups energy, you could be envisaging something new or something that is complementary. As I said, Two of Cups is a duality card. It means, an exchange, a fair exchange for your gifts and talents. So this is your protagonist energy. You're making sure that you get a good deal for all that you put your effort into. But also this is like replicating. or doubling down on something that you do. If you think about two cups, they're identical. For example, it's like, okay, two things can exist at the same time. Both of them can be your dream, and it leads to success. So a lot of you are doing something like that. But also, I feel this is about you having a wonderful encounter where you benefit. So either something is being offered to you. I mean, the Ace of Swords in the resistance position, it's in the reverse at first. It will go into the upright, but it can be something that you're thinking for your future. Some sort of idea is going to transform your future. It's like you think it, and then you take action on it, but also the universe delivers to highlight that you're on the right path. And I feel in the next 6 weeks, you're going to get some sort of news or call or something that highlights, yes, you're on the right path, but you're contemplating. So some of you right now, of course, you're at capacity, and you may be feeling a little bit like your industry is changing somehow. So I feel like there is an adaptation energy. So you can stay ahead of a trend or a curve and remain relevant in your industry so that you are secure in your position, whatever that is. I mean, of course, we have to acknowledge you have the Queen of Swords here. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Devil card. Some of you, let's make it relevant. Some of you may be wondering about AI and how, computer technology is in some way advancing so quickly that it is replacing some aspects of industry. It can never replace a creator, for example. So I feel like you are making sure that whatever it is that you do, that you are either utilizing it to benefit you, or you are finding an alternative way to do what you do so that, you're not replaceable, as it were. And I feel this is something that humanity will come to really talk about in the future. But looking at the energy right now, I feel like, yes, you're working really hard, but you're making great strides and advancements because you need to love what you do. So if you're feeling a little bit like lost, because of course signposts can represent this energy of like having so much on your plate that you're wondering, what do you prioritize first? Okay, but also it can represent that you feel like your industry is losing its way. So you are kind of like taking back the power with the Six of Cups, because there is a nostalgia energy here where you're like, the good old days when it was just easier, or you enjoyed what you did a little bit more. I feel like you personally are returning to that era, to that time. And, there's so much cups here. So this tells me that, of course, you are locking onto a dream. I feel the universe is going to send you a gift. And I feel you've been sent some gifts already, some successes for what you do, because they're showing up in your protagonist energy. So a lot of you may feel that you've hit a plateau in your industry in some way, and you're trying to take things to the next level. And it's hard to smash through that glass ceiling or that financial blockage or financial level, shall we say. But I feel like you are doing it. Two of Cups is an energy of basically being harmonious, because you have that Two of Cups there, but we have a Six of Cups there as well. So Six of Cups is like returning to some sort of harmony or structure in your industry. So I feel a lot of you are thinking about your schedule at this moment in time, basically trying to work smarter, not harder, so you can actually have more time for you. So you may actually have a schedule change over the next coming weeks, or you may try to. I mean, when you get these cards, this can indicate that you're trying to remain in balance with the amount of work that you have to do. And sometimes you feel frustrated because the Devil card is there. You may be frustrated with someone who's not pulling their weight, or you may be frustrated with the structure. If you are trying to, reach for something, apply for something at this time, it can be that, you're ready to go. But at the same time, there is some sort of structure that you have to move through that sees a bit of a delay, and you may be a little bit frustrated there, okay? I mean, I would say with the Six of Cups energy, this is about you kind of like getting something from your past as well. So there's this energy, if you do something that can pay like a royalty or residual payment, or maybe even a tax rebate, I feel like you could get a check or something like that through the usual lines of inquiry over the next coming weeks, and that's something that you will celebrate. Also, Two of Cups is a toast. Okay, so I would say there is some sort of good news coming on in here that you will toast, a measure of how hard you've been working. And this can be that you've been working really hard and feeling like you've been pushing against the tide in some way. And just when you're feeling a little bit exhausted and kind of like, you know what, I'm not making advancements, suddenly the universe gives you a gift or a resource or an opportunity that will benefit you, that you will toast to see that you're making waves or making, an impact in your industry in some way. I'd definitely say there's something to celebrate here, being toasted. And I would say this could be a recognition, or it could be that you win something, or, something goes the way you hope for, whether it is a new client or setting up your own business. It's a monumental mark over the next coming weeks that something you've been wishing for starts to be a fair exchange, or there's a recalibration there where you start to return to a happier working environment. Okay, and a lot of you, if you work for a company, this could be, there's been somebody who's been a bit of a hard taskmaster who's not pulling their own weight. I mean, you've got the Queen of Swords in the resistance position. Okay, this can be someone who's a big old stress head, someone who's been really mean to you, or someone who's been calling you out, or someone who's been micromanaging you, or you may discover someone who has been, untruthful in some way in your working environment, or they may promise something that doesn't deliver in some way. And I feel like you are setting about some course corrections, and you find a way to either correct something or to remove the middleman, or remove the person that has let you down in some way. So that's coming through there. But I do see that someone who has been perhaps really challenging to work with either leaves or decides to, retire for some of you. But I feel more than anything, because we have an Ace of Swords in the resistance position, if you work for a company, I feel like they're let go, okay? Because this is to cut someone out, or this is to kind of block them in some way. I mean, it could be that mentally you're blocking this person out and you're just working really hard and you're just doing what you love, and you're not going to let anybody kind of get in the way of your success. 9 times out of 10, looking at the energy, this person sees you as a threat, that you're someone who loves what you do, that you're passionate, you're taking things to the top, and you will not be fazed. You have a great poker face. I feel like you're very professional. So if you're coming across a person like this, I feel like you are kind of like keeping a lid on it and not allowing this person to affect you. And they may try to up the ante by pushing your buttons or trying to sabotage. I would say protect any of your work through trademarking, copyright, or, in some way patenting it, because this person may see you as like competition. But if it's your boss, for example, I would like maybe copy other people in to your working emails and documents, because it highlights that these are your ideas. Because with an ideas card like an Ace of Swords there, this can indicate that someone, they think your ideas are pretty hot, and they're watching you and they're watching your ideas, and they're not above taking those ideas for themselves. They may try to take credit for something. So just watch out for yourself there, because the Devil card can indicate, a negative energy or a negative force, but we've got it in the resistance position. That's where you want it to be. So that means this person does not affect you, or this circumstance does not affect you. It also means you're liberating yourself out of a very stuck situation, because you've got great ideas, okay? Now, some of you, because the Queen of Swords is there, let's remove the person energy. This can be about structure. You may feel that you've had so much on your plate recently that, perhaps a usual structure has been interrupted in some way. You get back to being more organized, more disciplined, and more structured, so you can have more free time. I mean, I got to be honest with you, a lot of you are dealing with paperwork, receipts, spreadsheets, documents, all of those things, contracts as well, over the next coming weeks and months. I mean, for some of you, whatever it is that you do, you may even join a social media platform. 2 of Cups can be a partnership. Doesn't have to be with a person. It can be a partnership with, a brand deal, or it can be a partnership with a social media platform to market. I mean, it could even be that you're creating something that promotes your work. So it could be that you're partnering up with a company who does a website for you, for example, or it could be that you're putting your work online, and it could be that you are monetizing something. Because looking at the energy, we've got the King of Pentacles, which is all about the finances. That is your final card. So this means that you are amplifying your wealth, or you're utilizing your knowledge in a way to put yourself in a high-ranking position where you can build a life of security, affluence, and of course, material abundance. But most importantly, this is about mastering your craft. Okay, so a lot of you, if you've been feeling a little bit scattered recently with whatever it is that you do, it's about remembering, because of course the Six of Cups is there, it's about remembering what you love about your industry. Because sometimes we forget that we start out really excited about what we're pursuing as a career, and you love what you do, but there's going to be aspects of it that you either don't like, because of course every industry there's something, a creative person, for example, will love creating, but when it comes to doing their taxes or receipts or documents or filing, they're like, oh, that's not an aspect that you really love. So you may outsource it to an accountant or to a manager, or I'm not really sure how it all works, but it could be that you're outsourcing something at this time so you can focus on the stuff that you love. So even if you work for a company, there may be things that you perhaps don't love doing, and you may outsource them or delegate them or find a way to approach them in a different way to keep it fresh and fun. But most importantly, when you are mastering your craft, whatever it is that you do, repetition and commitment is the measure of success. Consistency is success. You can be the most talented person in the world, okay? But if you're not consistent and you're not, working hard to hone or be open to new ideas or new ways of doing things, then of course, you'll just remain in that bubble of talent. You have to be consistent and show up. And I feel like you are being consistent on something, bringing your A game, and you're taking it to the top. So I would say that you're going to be someone who is a real force to be reckoned with. Whatever it is that you do, you're reaching for more, and you are going to achieve more. Now, the Devil card, it's not an evil card. A lot of you, this can be that you've been burning the candle at both ends, that you're so exhausted, especially if you run your own business, you're thinking about your work all the time. But it can be because we have the Queen of Swords there. A lot of you, because I'm being given an energy of fire triangle as well. So it can be that you are looking at healthier working practices. Some of you may be asked to step into a position of responsibility in your working environment. So if you work for a company, it could be that you are asked to figurehead like health and safety, or maybe a fire warden or a first aider. And this could be a financial incentive to give you more money. For some of you, if you run your own business, these could be things that you're looking into over the next coming weeks regarding the people who work for you, okay? But also, with the Devil card energy, this could be you sometimes, especially when you're about to be so monumentally successful in whatever it is you're reaching for. Because a lot of you are reaching for something here, or thinking about like migrating skills, or thinking about your direction because you have a directional card in your protagonist energy. This can be when doubt creeps in. This is when, that little whisper of a voice comes in. And I would say a lot of you with that Ace of Swords, swords are all about thoughts, the ether, air, okay? It could be that you're trying to manage intrusive thoughts. You're about to be so successful, and that's when, those doubts or fears come in, where it's like, well, what if it doesn't go the way I hope for? Or what if I cannot reach the level of success I'm hoping for? Or what if it is that I go into this new role and, I can't do it? You can. And you will, and you're going to be so monumentally successful. So the Queen of Swords can be about managing intrusive thoughts, especially ones that threaten to tear you down on something. And I would say, the wild and wackier, the better your idea, because you're unique. You're standing out. You're doing something where you're like, okay, this is the way it's always been done, and now I'm not doing it that way. I'm finding a unique way to do it so that I set my soul on fire, because I feel it's really important that when you're doing something that you've always wanted to do, there's always going to be a set way of doing it. And yeah, you learn that way, and then it gets into a routine. And I feel some of you are like, you know what? What if I was bold and daring and just did something really original? Am I still going to get to the position I want to be in? Well, yeah, you are, because you're standing out. So I would say some of you are kind of like going, I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something on my own terms. So I feel that's quite exciting because it is in a resistance position energy, which means it's positive. You know, if the devil card was in the protagonist energy or the outcome energy, I would say, maybe some toxicity there in the working environment, or perhaps, you know, you're obsessively pursuing a goal, which is great, but don't burn yourself out there. But it does say here, shadow self, addiction. Some of you have been addicted to work, so it could be about finding healthier working practices. We've also got obsession, limits. That's why I was saying some of you feel like you've reached a limit. Now, this could be with a person, or it could be with the industry. It could be that there's some fears regarding like redundancies or losses or the economy. You know, it is very volatile at this moment in time. There's always going to be fear. But looking at your outcome energy, I would say that you are someone who's flexible. There's some good news happening here for you. And I feel like you're going to be stable and secure. There's a gateway to more here for you. But it also says here, lust, excess, and materialism. So I would say with the Saturn planet ruling this card, that you're being stricter with yourself. You're holding yourself to higher standards. You know, you're not allowing anyone to underestimate you, I would say, as well there. But I would also get this energy of like reigniting that spark for what you do. There's so many ways that you could do it, and it's about finding the right path that kind of interests you to get to where you want to go. So I definitely see that that's something you're going to achieve. Now, of course, the Queen of Swords is something that's in the reverse. I've already talked about that. Someone who is, quite austere, someone who is really challenging to deal with. For some of you, this could also be an intermediary. And what I mean by that is someone who is the bridging gap or divide between you and success. So for example, if you work in a certain industry like a writer, because swords are all about words and thoughts and all of those things, it can be that you are looking for a promoter or manager or a publishing deal, for example. And it could be that you find someone who is notoriously difficult in the industry. It's like they play hardball. Now, you may go for an interview with this person and they may love everything that you're about, right? But they may be like, okay, but we'll change this or we'll do this and we'll do that. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's like they're stripping away everything that you stand for, or they're kind of like trying to manipulate your talent to fit a mold. I feel there's this energy of you kind of like saying, actually, this is what I'm about. I've approached you with what I'm about, and here's my work. I don't really want to be changed. I'm different. I'm unique. I'm not going to fit into the mold. So you standing your ground is what sets you apart. So of course, for example, if you go for an interview for this person, you may actually decide to turn this person down and find someone who kind of aligns with what you're about. And of course, this could be also if you're interviewing, you know, remember when you're interviewing, you're not just being interviewed, you're interviewing them as well to see if they align with your decisions for your future, you know, what you align to aspire to achieve. So I feel this is something that retains the power or helps you re-empower yourself to recognize that you're not just there kind of interviewing and hoping that they take you. You are someone who is the talent. Now, this is no matter what you do, okay? So even if you are, you know, working in a warehouse, for example, you have a skill set that is like no other. Yes, you're going to do certain components that other people do, but at the same time, you're someone who has skill sets and strengths in certain areas, and you're not just there to kind of like be interviewed to see if you can just fit a mold. You're going to bring skill sets where you want to elevate into the next level. So please apply it to your situation. I feel there's this energy of you being on the precipice of elevation here. And the Queen of Swords means that you are organized. There's a structure. You're disciplined with your time. You're owning a structure there. And I would say that a lot of you, you know, you're planning something, or you are kind of like setting healthy boundaries in the working environment. A lot of you, though, are going to return to an idea or something that you started but did not complete. And this is going to be a key, a major player to your success as well. And I feel, of course, you've got lots of ideas, but I feel there's one in particular that sets your soul on fire, that you're really passionate about. And every time you kind of return to it, you're excited about it. But I feel like you've got so many things on here that it's perhaps been getting in the way. Now, on a more practical level, I feel a lot of you are looking personally at your finances, building a financial strategy, and actually kind of looking at contracts or service providers that you've outgrown. Maybe there's like a direct debit for some of you connected to like a subscription that you don't utilize as much anymore. I feel like you may cancel that. A lot of you are looking at, going for the alternative. Okay, so I feel like you may be looking at where you spend your money as well on a personal level, because this is a career and money kind of reading. It could be that you're looking at the alternative rather than going to big establishments. You may be looking at kind of like independent kind of creators, for example, because I'm getting this energy of you kind of like not wanting the structure that perhaps is negative or not conducive to your beliefs and morals, because you have a Two of Cups there, which is about, okay, this is what's in my heart and this is what I believe, and I aspire to connect to like-minded individuals or scenarios that align with who I am. And that's also applied to working practices. So I feel like, if there's a place that is toxic or does not align with what you feel like you should be getting for your work and all your energy that you're investing in your dreams, or even the things that you're purchasing, I feel like you are finding the alternative and going in a different direction. And I would say that the next coming weeks for you is all about direction, because if you think about your first card, the crossroads is about, oh, okay, I'm at a fork in the road. I can go in this direction, that direction. I can actually explore all of them before I decide. And I feel that, your outcome energy is the rider. This figure knows where they're going. Now, it's interesting because, of course, the goal will always remain the same. That goal can be that you are creating a name for yourself in your industry, or that you are rising through the ranks, or that you're aspiring to have a lot of money or security for you and your family. The goal will remain the same. However, I feel there's many pathways you can take to get to your goal. You just have to find the one that aligns with you and feels great, okay? Because the more you love what you do, of course, the quicker you will advance. So I feel like you may have gone from like pushing against the tide over the last couple of months or years to suddenly finding a way that you streamline and get there faster. Quicker results, quicker rewards. And it says here, visitor, arrival, messages, quick news, movement, new information, taking action. So no matter what you do, I definitely see something rewarding from your past coming in to inform your current circumstances that will actually help you advance in your future. This could be a piece of information, could be knowledge, could even be that you reunite with a person from your past or someone you used to work with, because we do have reunion energy here. So you could actually meet a person and discuss like plans, and maybe they're doing something similar to what you're aspiring to do, or maybe they just have a contact. They could put you in contact with somebody, because I feel this is a great networking time for you. But most importantly, I feel this is about Mercury going direct, which happens, of course, on the 11th of August. And then the 25th, we're out of that post shadow. And this means advancements, okay? So I would say that you're on your way. And I feel you're hot on the heels of success. That's you all over right now, okay? You have a goal, it's a tunnel vision, and you are not going to stop until it's done. And also I feel with this card that this is about, you conquering something in the working environment, because there is a mountain there. So with that 9 of Wands, this can be that you're conquering a mountain or overcoming a problem or an obstacle. It feels like even that is not going to stop you. You've decided how you're going to approach this, and you are going to be clear, direct, and I feel that you are very functional, as it were, where you're like, okay, I just need to get it done, and you're going to get it done, okay? Now, also, for some of you, there could be a partnership here in terms of person. So if you're working with a person right now, I feel like they could have some really great ideas that you want to explore together. For some of you, if you are already in a partnership, this may be a time where you get head-to-head conversation with a partner, especially if the business has been like a little bit of a challenge. I feel like you've been showing up, doing your A game, but it could be that you have a conversation with your partner and they want to take things in a different direction than you do with the company. And I feel that this could be where it ends your working partnership. For some of you, not all of you, of course. And I feel this actually gets you sparked and excited about taking things to the next level and advancing. And I feel like you're great to go solo. So if you're worried about like a partnership kind of phasing out or dissolving in some way, I would say actually this is a measure of your springboard to success. Okay, so I wouldn't worry about that. That's something that's coming through there. But I feel a lot of you could be learning about money or financial structures, or you meet someone who helps you in some way. Could be that you're reaching out to a financial advisor, but I would say with the rider and the tree, this is about you moving on to bigger and better things and new information coming in. I mean, a lot of you could also be learning about new technology or learning new aspects of your industry, or even learning about people in your industry who could benefit you, or you're watching them and seeing how they're doing something so you can implement the structure, but in your own unique way. But I feel a lot of you, there's this kind of like creative energy about you. And if you can utilize any technology, some of you may be purchasing new tools or upskilling in some way. And I feel if you've been feeling just a little bit out of sync in your industry, I feel the next 6 weeks is about productivity, but getting back into alignment and basically disconnecting from any disrespect in your working environment as well. I feel like you're going your own way. You're someone who could make it on your own if you're not doing that already. But, you know, this is a card of generational wealth. The tree is about generations. It's about planting roots. It's about learning structures that perhaps not everybody is privy to. So some of you could actually put yourself on a course about making your money work for you. You may be looking at alternative acquisitions or like finances and how you can invest in some way. But it says here longevity. So this is about you having a long-term success in your career. Okay, you're putting the work in, so it sees you making great advancements. We've got health. That did come up here as well about healthier working practices, growth in your industry, past life. So past life can be, of course, past life regression and things like that. But let's bring it to a relevant time right now. You've got a 6 of Cups. So I would say this is like past experiences or past skills that you learned, maybe helping you with advancements in your career now. But also I feel something from your past or even someone from your past is beneficial to you, okay? We've also got an energy of some of you thinking about going into business with someone from your past, so that could be something you're exploring as well. Or maybe it's someone that you really care about and are, aligned with. I would say this is about falling in love with your industry again after a period of challenge. But also I feel you could have some strong working alliances after a period of disruption. Or, you could actually build a business with like a family member or a sibling or somebody, a friend. Make sure you have a contract there. Initially, a friend that you're thinking about working with may say, we don't need contracts because we're friends. We're never going to fall out. Always keep the two separate. It's important, not because you foresee anything going wrong, but it just keeps both parties legally protected. And also it makes everyone be aware of the page that they're on when it comes to the duties and how they are like divvied out there. But it says deeply rooted, expansion, and slow. So yeah, I feel, you've got the sun planet guiding this card and you got Mercury. So I would say information, knowledge is going to help you expand your industry. Some of you may even decide to migrate your business or think about like moving your business. Some of you, if you work for a company, there may be like an alternative branch kind of opening up that you're asked to like be seconded at for a while or really get it up and running, for example. But I actually feel a lot of you are thinking about financial structures elsewhere as well. So you could be traveling for business or you could be thinking about migrating your business elsewhere because of course signposts normally have a place written on them. So it could be that you're looking at different places where your business would thrive. For some of you, it could be online. It doesn't have to be a place. It can be that you are getting things online or creating some sort of structured wealth where it is passive. And what I mean by that is that, you set the kind of like parameters and the structure up, and then it just takes care of itself somehow, okay? We have that 9 of Wands, which means, of course, you are very busy. I feel there's an energy of you've been under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And of course, because you care about what you do, that stress may never leave, but it's about managing it, being aware of it. Okay. So that's something that I foresee there. Now, because we have partnerships on a personal level, You know, if you're in a relationship, there could be some interesting and sometimes tense conversations in and around finances. I would say that it's a heat of the moment thing where people get a little bit like overwhelmed when they're thinking about finances and things changing or spending habits. So I would get this energy that things kind of like get sorted and solved, and it's like, okay, we're on the same page, we're heading in the right direction. So I feel there could be a little bit of a tense conversation in and around finances if you're in a relationship, but actually I feel like things get resolved, and you know, you're building a financial structure here. You're both very responsible with your finances. Nine of Wands also indicates, you know, like nearly being there on something. You know, Nine of Wands is you having a lot on your plate, but you're so close to completing it. So I would say that, you know, if there is a project you've been meaning to return to, you won't complete it in the next coming weeks, but I feel like you're well on the way to being very close to completion. And then that's very exciting. I feel then you're ready to launch. A lot of you are getting ready to launch something or getting ready to reveal something, even if you are having an appraisal. You know, I feel like it's going to go very well. At first, you may worry about this appraisal, but actually it's really good news. You may even be dealing with a very kind of like hard to read kind of person in this appraisal, but I feel like they soften. I feel like they let you in on a secret about some developments in the company that you work for. For some of you, it could also be an industry person that you have a direct conversation with, and they do soften and say, look, let me tell you how things are changing right now. And it just gives you a little bit of a heads up so that you can adapt to these changes. But the Ace of Wands is like a transformation. And we've got the King of Pentacles there. So that means that, you know, there is a transformation that is positive in your finances. Some of you are, you know, having new ideas of how to just grow your wealth. And I would not ignore those ideas. I would also say that Ace of Wands is having fun with whatever it is that you do, that you are a brilliant spark, that you're enterprising, you have a vision. And this is about, you know, taking things to the next level, the start. You're inspired on something. It's a new endeavor or it's a new energy that you're going forward with that is going to see you very serious in your industry. I mean, King of Pentacles can also indicate, of course, you know, being smart with your money. You know, there is reward for all of your hard work, that you're a good business person, as it were. Even if, you know, you feel like you're not in business, you're doing something that just brings in, you know, your paycheck from week to week, for example. I feel like you're being very clever with your finances and saving for your financial future. But also you could be looking at the best way to invest your finances, looking at the financial institutions and the accounts that are available, utilizing apps because you have some technology there, just so that you stay on top of your financial strategy. Now, also, I'm being given this energy of health in the work environment. I'm being given a chair right now. So some of you could be purchasing a new chair. Maybe it's ergonomic for your posture there. But I'm getting this energy of like the neck, a lot of stress in the neck. So it could be that you have been like looking down a lot at screens, or maybe something is not in alignment, or maybe this is symbolic, you know, because your cards here are all about alignment. There's something to celebrate here that brings you back into alignment, but you may have felt like, you know, there has been something out of alignment, and some of you may feel it's, you know, the pressure has been on your neck or shoulders. I'm feeling more than anything the neck. So it could be that you need to adjust the position on how you're looking at something, or if you're lifting things for, you know, your business. You know, I would say posture, the neck, be careful in and around that area. I feel it's like a weak spot at this moment in time that's just coming through there, but I feel you will come back into alignment, or you will enlist a healthier working practice to make sure that you come back into alignment there. I mean, what else could the neck be? Because I'm being given a chair and the neck. Okay, I think it's about posture, so I'll just leave it like that. I mean, the chair could be that you're chairing a position, or you're holding a meeting, or, you know, you're writing up some sort of presentation. And I feel this is about standing tall, holding your head up high, knowing that, you know, with this can-do attitude, you're talented, you're gifted. I mean, I do see you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. And I also see that, you know, for some of you, if you have a partner, for example, who is currently out of work, there will be some good news surrounded in that area where they will get an opportunity. And I feel it just pulls more resources there as well. Magnifying wealth, keep swimming, you're getting there. Okay. Finally, we have we got a chair. Okay, so we got a leadership role. I mean, this is literally a leadership role, but this can be that you're taking the lead in your career. You know, you're taking ownership and you're like serious about your goals. And if you've had a vacation, for example, it could be that you're getting back into the swing of things, or it could be that you're trying to tie up loose ends and be super busy to make sure you're on course, to get ahead of yourself so you can take that vacation. If some of you are training someone whilst you're away, I hate to say this, but whilst you're away, this person, they may make some mistakes, or they didn't see something clearly. There's kind of an error here that you'll have to correct, but it means you save the day. It means that it highlights that, you know, you're the best person for the job. So you are called to step up and be the authority position of power. That definitely came up in your reading, and that can come out in so many different ways, okay? This can be that you're showing up for yourself, or it could be that you're asked to take on more responsibility in your working career, and, you know, there's a financial incentive there. We've also got magnifying wealth, and the King of Pentacles is, you know, a card of being able to observe some rewards for all of your hard work. Opportunity will be found wherever you're searching for it. And I feel this is about manifesting more, okay? And, you know, it is a card of like multiplying streams of income. And a lot of you, because there's so many signposts, it could be that you are looking into ventures where there are multiple streams of income, either through real estate or something online. So please apply it to your personal circumstance. But it says, build your fortune by having multiple streams of income. There you go. Expanding your reach. And I definitely think that you're branching out in some way, because the tree is there, which is all about expansion. Even another card here is about expanding. And I feel this is more like a reflection. Even if you think about a Two of Cups, as I said, they're identical. It's like a reflection. So some of you could be doing something again, but in a different way, migrating the skill set that complements. Or it could be that you are finally starting to see a reflection of all your hard work being rewarded. We've also got work together. So Two of Cups, working together, partnership. If you work in an environment that has been toxic or a struggle recently, suddenly over the next 6 weeks, people are pulling together. They just feel a little bit more lighter. There could even be some sort of working environment, event, a team building exercise, for example, that you're dreading, but actually it goes better than you thought, and you could actually see someone in a new way. It says a successful partnership or collaboration is highlighted, pooling resources. Now, I mentioned there's many different ways to collaborate. It could be with a group of people. I mean, you do have, you know, a King of Pentacles here and a Queen of Swords. So this can be actually two people, you and your partner, or you and someone. Maybe it's a creative collaboration or a brand kind of deal there. Or, as I said, a social media platform where there is some sort of partnership. But we've got working together. I feel this is like a marriage, like a work marriage made in heaven, as it were. So we also have keep swimming, you're getting there, but it just takes time to arrive. You're in the flow. Yeah, all the water there, you're in the flow. And the Nine of Wands indicates you're nearly there, okay? Just keep going. I feel like you're being flexible at this time. And finally, we have back and forth. I mean, the signpost can be that you are under a lot of pressure. You have so many things to do, and it can be that this is a period to prioritize what's important. It says back and forth. Indecision makes it hard for you to make real traction. Make a firm decision. So I do see that you're doing that, okay, in order to make great advancements. So yeah, I would say even that deck highlights the energy that came out in that reading. It's going to get a trinket or a rune. Oh, wow. So we got the arrow. You're taking it to the top. You're direct. You know, this is about setting a target and reaching it. And I would say that you're leveling up in some way. And yeah, I feel like you're making some sort of impact in your industry. The only way is up. But of course, if you think about the arrow, it's a direction. So this is about taking an idea in a direction that is explorative, wild and wonderful, but you're brave enough to take it right to the destination point where there's a lot of success. So I'm leaving it there, my beautiful Scorpio. Hope something resonates there. Also, what may be of benefit is to write down your decisions, or write down your goals, of course, because you solidify to the universe, and that's cosmic ordering. So whether you do it in private or even in the comments box below, it's like claiming something that you know will be true in your future. Visualizing a manifestation is about visualizing it like you have it now, okay? Not always visualizing something you'll have in the future, because that's something that's always like out of reach. It's like you're living it right now. See it in your mind, you can have it in your hand, but write it down like you're so grateful for all the money that you have. You're so grateful, and maybe even be precise about the amount of money you want. See it in your bank account, for example, in your mind's eye, like you have just gone to your bank account and you see it, but write it down. It's a declaration to self and to the universe. And when it's written, it is set. Okay, so I always say this could benefit you. So I'll just leave it there, and perhaps it's something to think about there as well. Even a vision board, okay? But I'll leave it there. So thank you so much, my beautiful Scorpio, and love and light.